वो रीले बनाती यूं ही, लाइक्स भी है जरूरी, वो मम्मी की प्यारी और पापा की परी तो मैं हुई, तेरा रे रा तारा तारा रा रा, तेरा रे रा तारा तारा रा रा।
The Tech Space is a virtual interaction series featuring popular YouTubers of today's modern age. The previous episode witnessed YouTubers like Anuj Bhaiya, Manish Purohit, Arun Prabhu Desai gracing our stage. And today, we are back with the most awaited episode, something all of us were eagerly looking forward to. So, without any further ado, let's welcome our guest for today, the one who senses music in every aspect of his life, the one who sparked the curiosity of knowing Rasode mein kaun tha, and the one and only Mr. Yashraj Mukhate.
Thank you, Shresi. Thank you, Purva.
So, Sir is a
Welcome,
music
sir.
composer, singer, and the current Instagram sensation. And for all of those who don't know, he is an electronics and telecommunication engineer. Despite his passion for music, Sir went on to pursue engineering as his mother's wish back in 2014. After completing his engineering in 2018, he started his full time career in music from 2019 under the label of YM Studios, but has been professionally working as a music producer for the last 8 years. Sir is a famous parodical music creator and makes beats with dialogues, like inserts beats in dialogues. This is truly a great work that requires a deep understanding of acoustics and editing. Finding and merging the beats and tunes, even in a normal sentence, is indeed a unique talent.
Right. His work has been recognized and appreciated by music maestros like Salim Merchant, Sachin Jigar, Benny Dayal, Jasleen Royal, and many others. We are thrilled to have you on our tech stage, sir. So, okay, let's us begin with the questionnaire. So, so the first question from our side is that they say that engineers are the most creative people out there, and you are an engineer as well. So, how do you think your engineering journey has helped you shape your career in terms of music?
Engineering, I also did from Pune only. I was in Siangad College, Kashi Nole, the Vadgaon campus one, and I studied there and I did my electronics and telecommunication. Before that, I did my diploma from here in Aurangabad. I did my diploma 3 years, and then I was graduated to the second year directly. So the technical knowledge which I got from engineering, which is something that doesn't help me in day-to-day life, but there is one thing that engineering gave me is what you call is the critical thinking, the logical thinking. Like it helps me in my music production skills. It definitely helps me to understand how my MIDI keyboard works, how my audio is converted from analog to digital. These small details I get to understand, and it is really helpful when it comes to when I get compare myself with other musicians who are not engineers, who are just creative artists. So in when you compare me with them, I have definitely have the advantage of knowing how the process works. If I get a glitch here sometime in my software or in my recording process, I definitely know how to rectify it better than other creative artists who are not engineers.
Right. So, like they say that your parents never take a wrong decision for you. Whatever they tell you, just blindly follow what they say.
Yeah,
So,
that is true. That my mother says now.
yeah.
Ki it was right. And while doing it, but it was very stressful. I was hardly managing it. But in hindsight, it definitely helps, and it trains your mind to think in a certain way. That definitely
Right.
helps.
So, yeah, continuing on the same line, what was your parents' reaction when they came to know about you as a singer or your talent?
So my father used to sing, and he only got me the first keyboard. I had a very small keyboard when I was 3, 4 years old. He got me one keyboard, and he used to sing songs. He used to sing in orchestras. He used to do his own shows. So he knew about this, and I also kind of learned from him only. So it wasn't that suddenly one day they got to know that I'm into this. It was in our house. I was into music. I was listening to music. I used to play the smaller keyboard. Then I graduated to a bigger one. Then I graduated to playing the guitar, and it happened gradually. So they always knew what I was doing, and they were actually, in fact, they were very happy that I was pursuing this, seeing to pursue this as a career, because my father wanted to do something in this, but he got into some other business and he couldn't finish his music part. So when they got to know that I'm into music, my mother just told me that finish your degree first, complete your studies, and then do whatever you want. And that's exactly what I did. I completed my degree, and then side by side, I was doing when I was in school. Also, I used to look forward to perform in on stage with my keyboard. I used to when I was doing my diploma, I used to come back home, and every night before going to sleep, I used to spend that 1 hour, 2 hour of you can call it riyas. It was just practice of music production I used to do, and it was happening side by side. So it wasn't that they did not know about it. So they always supported me in this. So it was very smooth that way for me.
Okay, so as you already told us about your music journey. So do you have any kind of formal education or formal degree in music?
So no, I have not learned music formally, but as I said, I was listening to a lot of music always, and I was analyzing it myself, and I was I'm self-taught. So I used to listen to songs, I used to practice that on my own, and then rectify my own mistakes by comparing my product with the product which is already available in the market. So I used to make covers of songs. I used to listen to them, and then I used to compare them with the original song. That way I used to be able to rectify my mistakes, and I used to find out ki, acha, this sound is not right. My product sounds little bit off. This sounds very tight. So I used to search for that on the internet, ki, what is lacking in my tracks, which I'm able to hear in the original track and which is not in my tracks. That is how I started learning. So formal education is not there. There was a very brief for a very brief time I used to go for this a classical training. I just used to go there, and there's a there's a process that you just improve your vocal cords. That I used to do for it was a very for a very brief time. It was for I went there for about 2 months, and then I stopped going there. But that was it. That nothing else I did formally. But internet helped me. So you can call it a formal education because I used to practice every day. I never there was not a single day when I did not practice music production. So yes, it was it.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, they say ki if you want to become a good singer, you should actually learn how to become a good listener, and then you can go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Listening is very important, and singing also. Singing was not my intention. I was just very curious to learn about how they make music. So that is why I used to listen a lot, and that helped me.
Right. So, sir, what was your inspiration, and like when did you start creating your own content?
So initially, like all musicians do, I used to make covers of
Right.
that is the first step, because you listen to a song, you get inspired, you think, yeah, this is sounding very nice. I should try this. So I started doing that. I had this computer, which then I got this mixer. Then I connected it with my computer. Then I realized how to. Uh, Attach my mic to the computer and then then download a software. So that time I did have a software, so I used to download software and then crack them on my computer. I had a Windows PC then, so I used to do that. And all this jol chapata I used to do, and I used to understand ki acha ye kaise hota hai, how they make several tracks. So I used to do that. And while doing that I learned. And yes, I forgot your question, sorry.
When did you start creating content?
Yeah, so
Content like
initially, yeah, so I started making covers on that setup.
right.
And initially that was the time when my voice was breaking, my voice was changing. So I couldn't sing properly because I used to get my voice used to crack. So I did not start by singing, I just started playing songs first, and then I used to record them. So just I did not put it anywhere, just for myself. I used to record and I listened to it. So later I started, when my voice became mature, I started singing the songs which I used to like. and then I started producing music. Started making covers. So uh, layering the tracks, adding a guitar, adding a piano over the guitar, adding the bass, and making it sound like an entire song. So I really used to enjoy that. So that is how I started making the covers, and then I started putting covers out on the internet, on my Facebook. It started from Facebook because Facebook was a very closed community that time. So it was only for friends. Friends used to watch, they used to like it. My parents used to watch it, they used to share it with other friends, and that was it. So initially, I started by making covers like everyone do, and while in the process of understanding to make covers, I learned the craft of making songs. So while replicating those songs, I realized that this is how it is done. So I can also do it. Maybe I can do it myself. So that later I started experimenting with sounds. I started using different sounds in my. I started using water bottles. I started using jhadu and everything in my songs. And As I learned about sound more, that is when I started experimenting and like creating my own stuff out of it.
Right.
Okay. Right. So as you might be knowing that content creation requires lots of consistency. So what challenges do you face, when it comes to creating new content or creating fresh content consistently? And how do
So
you deal with those challenges?
I'm not consistent at all. As you can see, if you see my YouTube channel and Instagram, I am not consistent at all because I feel that consistency works for some people, some YouTubers. It is a very essential thing, but I think if I upload videos every month or every week, if I start doing that, I'll lose out on my the quality of content. So all these years, that was my intention. Even if I put one video in 2 months or one video in 3 months, it has to be outstanding. It has to be very good and exceptionally good, better than whatever else is there on the internet. So that takes time, because then you have to. Right now also I have like 3 4 videos ready, but I'm not putting it out because I don't think they are good enough. So unless I feel that it is really nice and it should, then only I decide to put it out, and it takes time. So for some people it doesn't. It works the other way, because for some people they just keep on putting out content. Like there's one uh, uh, guy called Samay Raina on the YouTube.
Right.
He's very
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
right now. You guys must have known. He stays in Pune only. So he streams almost every day. He puts out content almost every day. So it works for him. He's just gaining audience, and it works for him. It doesn't work for me because uh, it just doesn't work for me. I feel that it any creative process requires a certain amount of time, and unless I am completely sure of what I want to put out, I will never put it out. So that is one thing. Then there is a disadvantage to that also, because then if you're not consistent on YouTube, then people are going to, they'll forget about you. If you put like 6 months make video aega, so they'll definitely not remember you the way they do now. So you have to balance the thing between uh, being consistent and then being able to put out very good content. So that is a really great big struggle, and it is definitely not easy, but I'm struggling with that only now. Right now also, I know that I have not put a, a, a video of a kind which people want to see. I get messages every day कि वो कब डाल रहे हो, इस पे बना दो, उस पे बना दो, but it just doesn't happen. If I make something and I don't like it, then I feel like, why should I put it out? And that struggle is on. I think that will be on forever, and you just have to deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how do you create content? Like what is the entire process?
So the original content that I make now, the original songs, they require a lot of time, because as I said, I have original songs also. I have many original songs that I have conceived. Like I have the idea, then I start the idea, midway I realize it is not going anywhere, so I just dump it. So I have like, if I have 100 songs now, 80 of them are like I have started and midway I realized it is not going anywhere, and I did not do it. 15 songs are those which I have liked and I have completed the songs, but I just think that this is not the right time to put it out. and 5% of those are the songs which I put out. So I have like 7, 8, 9 songs which are already out, which are my original compositions. This is about
Right.
the original compositions. Other stuff which I do, which on Instagram and YouTube, with those short videos that I do, are randomly I get an idea, I see something somewhere, and I make something out of it. There is no particular thought process to it. There is nothing very calculation. There's no calculation to it. It is just, if I feel something and I just bring it to my laptop or computer, and I just start playing with it randomly without even having an intention to complete it, or making it into a video and then placing it at a point and putting it out. That there are certain people who do that, will put it on Tuesday evening because the engagement is very high, will put it on Thursday evening because the engagement, it doesn't work for me. If I feel that it is good, and if I just finish the video within an hour, I just put it out. So there is no calculation there, and I've realized that those videos work the most. uh, but that happens very rarely. So that process is very random. The videos that really work have a very random process. Just seeing something somewhere and then playing with it on the music software. That's it.
Great.
Okay, that's great. So, what do you think that how has technology changed the face of music?
Oh, it's totally changed the face of music and everything actually. If you only talk about the internet part of it, um, it is insane. The amount of viewers, uh, and the amount of creators that have generated because of the internet penetration. Uh, the sensibilities change because of the internet, because now you have access to world music. You can listen to everything, anything, anytime. It 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 really helps you to develop yourself as a creator. First of
Right.
all, it gives you exposure. It develops your sensibilities about music in general. um, so the internet, it gives you viewership because so many people are consuming now. So that is why that's exactly happened with me also, because of the lockdown, because of the internet penetration, everything fell right into place and there were people to consume my content. That is why I got that viral video. That was one of the reasons. And secondly, the equipment part of it, because of the technology getting cheaper and cheaper, I we have like really good quality technical this equipments, which are really cheap, which are really accessible. You can record a song on a phone now. It is that easy. Initially, I remember I saw one interview where it was Kishore Kumar's interview or Lata Mangeshkar's interview. I don't remember exactly, but
Okay.
there they were explaining how they used to record those tracks in those times, where there was only one track recording, and on one single track you had to record everything. So they used to gather all the musicians, all the choir, and the singers and the instrument players in one room, and according to the level of how much you want to listen to the instrument, they had to stand at a distance from the microphone. And the singer used to stand near the microphone. After the singer's part is done, they used to quietly move away from the microphone. The flute part or whatever, he used to come, he used to play his part and then go away. This all used to happen in one take. And that was the difficulty level, and that time they used to produce those amazing songs. Now
Right.
it is, now I have made a song, it's called Uchlingo Machlingo. From here, I stay in Aurangabad. The lyric writer stays in Mumbai. The singer, the duet singers, the female singer who has sung with me, she stays in Toronto, and we collaborated that way, and the song is out. And I have never met these people. So it is that easy now, and because of that, it helps as a creative person also. We have got a little lazy because of that, but it helps. Definitely helps.
So, like, technology has brought the world closer. It's brought
Very,
us all
very,
to one place.
very close.
So, like, digitizing music is not often considered pure, or it is not often taken in the right spirit. So, what is
Mhm.
your take on that?
See, what I think, this is my personal opinion. Okay, this
Right.
I might be completely wrong, and you might ask, if you ask some really established music composers or music related people, they might have something else to say. But I feel that digitizing ho ya analog ho ya kuch bhi cheez ho, if and this I have realized by talking to very creative minds, the best of the best people in the business, like AR Rahman and Amit Trivedi and all these people. I have got this one thing from them, that if you are able to convey an emotion, okay, through your music, So it doesn't matter, you digitize it, you do it with your mouth, you do it with your leg, you do whatever you want. If the emotion is being conveyed, then it doesn't matter how you did it. So how is not the point here. It is that what are you trying to express. That is all it is. If it is hitting your heart, that music is all about conveying that, expressing that emotion. So if you're being able to do that, to do it however you want. That's the same thing people talk about auto tune also. Now there's a very wide
Right.
misconception about auto tune. You guys must know what is auto tune. Basically it is quantization, and
Yes.
it just clips the closest frequency to the correct frequency. That's all it is. But people look down upon autotune as a very bad thing. It is so not true. Everyone uses autotune. It is and people also have conceptions about how it works. It is not something that you get a machine and you put it on the software and it works. It is not like that. It is a vocal processing system. So there are many people, many things like this. And the as far as you are being able to convey emotions, and as far as it is working, it is fine. You do whatever you want, you do however you want it. Just convey the emotions.
So well put. I mean,
Yes, actually. So now this question many budding music composers will be interested in is that what tools and platforms do you use to create your music and mashup?
So I have a setup where the main system is, I use my iMac now, but you can use it on any Apple product, any Apple computer. There's a software called Logic Pro X, which is I think is the best software in the world. Most of the people right from Charlie Puth to AR Rahman to everyone, to Salim Merchant, everybody uses Logic Pro right now. So it is the most, I think it is the most efficient and very useful software to. There's a smaller version of the same software called GarageBand, which is available on the iPhones also. So it is very useful, and I've been using it from 7 8 years now. Before that I used to use Windows. So if you are on Windows, you can go for Pro Tools, which is a free software, I think, and extremely useful. So these 3 4 softwares are extremely efficient, very easy to understand, and if you have any problems in them, you can anytime go on their website, or you can easily find the solutions on YouTube as well. So even if today I get a problem, I just Google the problem or YouTube the problem, I just get a solution. That is the main software in which the all the work happens in that software. The instrument are also from the software. Then I have a MIDI keyboard which is connected to the software, which is just a MIDI keyboard, just a physical thing to insert data into it, and the sound comes from the software. That is one thing. Then I have a Rode microphone, which is connected to my Focusrite interface, which basically converts analog to digital. That's all. So that is one interface to record my vocals and guitars and stuff. And then there are monitors to listen to what I listening, because these are KRK Rokit 5 monitors. These are they have like flat frequency response, so it only generates what you are being able to hear. So they are
Hmm.
specifically designed for studio recording purposes, so mixing and mastering purposes. So this is the basic thing I have. And yeah, so if you are willing to do this, willing to buy everything, this will cost you about, if you including the MacBook, the software, the monitors, the microphone, and the interface, everything will cost you about nothing more than 2 lakhs, like 1.5 to 2 lakhs.
okay,
You will be able to get this. I had this a smaller version of this in my bedroom first, so it was under 2 lakhs.
great. So, yeah, now the online age that we are currently living in
Yeah.
has given a lot of freedom to common people with widespread availability of content.
Hmm.
So, in such a world, how do you understand the online Indian audience? Like their reactions, what do they expect?
I don't understand the audience at all. I just try to I try to make what I think is good, And because now I have got a bigger audience now, so I have no idea at all what they want. I have completely lost the judgment, this, because if you have a smaller audience, I know everyone by face. When I had a 4,000 5,000 people audience, I know some of them were my like half of them were my friends only. So I knew acha ye idhar ka hai, ye yahan ka hai. So I knew what they're expecting, what to put, what not to put. Now I'm over 2 million, I have no clue what to put, because there are like 400 opinions on everything I put. So
Hmm.
there are some people, mostly people like it, but they might like it for different reasons. So I have, it is very difficult for me to understand to how to go ahead with my next video. So it is, the easiest thing is to just make what you think is right. If you find it good, कि अच्छा इसमें the music is right, that is, which is my intention, because I have to chase the directors now to get work. So my intention is to put out music which they might notice and which they might like. So that is the deal for me, कि if it is musically good and also entertaining in some way, then I put it out. If I think on ki how people are going to like it, and how what is the percentage of audience which they will like, so I won't be able to make anything, which is happening to me in some of my content. But at the end of the day, I should just like it, and it should solve my purpose of going ahead in the career. That's it.
Right.
Yes. Also, apart from that, if not engineering or music, then what would be your career plan?
Engineering would definitely would not be my career plan. i was always I was always planning to leave it and do something in music. But I would do something creative only. I would really like to be I would really like to learn animation. I would really like to go into making animated films. I really like that, so I do a little bit of sketching also. So that is something I would do it sometime in the future also. That is something really I find it very interesting. Or I would become a chef or something, I don't know.
Great. So, sir, in the previous questions, you said that you have got guidance and inputs from A.R. Rahman himself.
Yeah,
So, A.R. Rahman is the god of music, and we are
absolutely.
sure your experience of meeting him was nothing less than heavenly.
Yeah.
So, could you tell us about that experience?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing, absolutely fascinating. I got to meet him for an hour, and I got to learn so much in that 1 hour. And that was the first time I was asking questions to someone. So that was a experience for, in that way also it was an experience for me. And experience, having being able to talk to a person who has won, like I don't know how many awards and what all. And it's not just about awards, but being able to meet a person whose music you have praised and listened, and it is such a, it is a very personal relationship with the kind of music he has made. I have actually listened to his songs very spiritually, like I'm praying or something. So that is the level of connection I have with his music, and being able to meet him in person was really uh, uh, s- very fascinating. And I got to learn so many things in that 1 hour. As I told you, that one thing that I had this notion that technique and craft, it can be learned, and technically, if the music is sound, because I used to spend like days and weeks just figuring out to remove that one noise clip which I had in my track. And I used to give so much importance to that one thing. But when you talk to these people, no, they give you so much clarity. All that doesn't matter. If you are being able to convey what you want to convey, just go ahead and do it. So that one thing makes your mind so wide in terms of thinking
Right.
about new things. And that is why those people are that great, maybe. And yes, there's so much to learn, and I'm looking forward to meet him again also. I'm trying to meet him again. I'll probably go to Chennai and meet him in a studio.
That's great. That's great. So apart from that, do you have any plans of making debut in Bollywood? Like when would we get to see Asad Mukhate as a music composer in Bollywood?
I don't know. I'm trying. I just keep talking to the directors. I keep sending them my stuff. And fortunately now because of the access I've got, I get a reply from them. So they mostly like my work, and if they don't tell me. But why would they tell me? But mostly they like my work, and all the directors uh, are like I have not been talking with anyone for a film, but I know that they have seen my work and they like my work. And in future, if I make something, I can just send them and I'll get a reply. That much I know. So for now it is still there. I'll just have to make some more content, some more original songs to grab their attention, which I'm working on right now. They If they find something of that sort, I'm sure they definitely will contact me and I will get something. But I'm not that is not the only goal I have right now. The bigger goal is to just keep multiplying this audience which I've got, just increasing the number of YouTube subscribers and getting more people to see my work. So even if the film thing or the Bollywood thing doesn't happen, it doesn't affect me in any way because I have YouTube, I have Instagram. So as technology, we were talking about technology, it has given me so much power and so much it gives me so much courage that even if Bollywood never happens to me, I'm fine. It is totally cool.
Also, with the advent of like album music,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
options of singers, get broadened more.
Yeah, because of the technology.
Like, because of the advent of album music, like now people are accepting album music and
Yeah.
moving away from Bollywood music also.
Right. So you don't need a star to, sing your songs to make the song popular. You can just go on YouTube. That is why so many artists have coming up. No, now the Ritviz is all about individual songs. He started with putting out individual songs, so he has his own voice. He doesn't need Bollywood for that. So it is very liberating that way.
Right. So now let's move on to a more fun segment of the conversation. We'll have a rapid fire round.
Hmm.
So the first part of the rapid fire round is this or that. So I'll give
All right.
you options. You choose whichever you like.
Sure.
So A.R. Rahman or Amit Trivedi?
Um, this is a tough one. I think A.R. Rahman came first, no? So I think I'll choose A.R. Rahman.
Yeah. Then live events or recordings?
Recordings. I hate live events. I hate going out and singing live because I'm very bad at it. I'm a very bad live singer, and I feel that I have no control over the sound on the stage because I can't hear what is going out. I've done a lot of live shows before I started doing my own stuff in the recording studio, and I did not enjoy it at all. I completely hated it. So I prefer sitting in the studio doing everything myself alone.
Right. Then, yeah, bunking lectures or sleeping in lectures?
Bunking lectures. Sleeping lectures, we were not allowed to sleep. They used to throw the chalk and all. They used to wake us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, Rasode mein kaun tha or Pori ho rahi hai?
Rasode mein kaun tha, definitely.
Yeah. Then remix or original compositions?
Original compositions any day. And remix, so remix, they call these dialogue mashup as remix, but it is not remix. So, but original compositions any day.
Right. And yeah, life before you got the fame or life after fame?
Um, so so actually life after the fame, because I've got more busier, and I've the fame helps in more than one ways. And yeah, life before that was, but I think it was more peaceful before that because I didn't have any pressure. So I used to experiment, I used to make some random stuff without even thinking how that might work. Now I'm making stuff and I have to think, "Ki, acha, will this work?" Because the last video had this thing, that is why that worked. So I have to put those elements. There's a lot of pressure from the audience also, and from the business point of view also. So I have to insert the brands in between, and I have to do a lot of stuff. So it is more stressful, but somehow I'm enjoying it. So yes, life after the fame.
Great. Thank you so much, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. So one more I would like to add in this, that reel or IGTV video.
Reel or IGTV? Reels, yeah. I like shorter content, which is really easy to consume.
That's great. Okay, so moving on to the second part of the rapid fire round. The name of this round is connecting words. So we'll provide you with one word and you have to tell the first thing that comes in your mind.
Acha, okay.
So the first word is COUP, that is College of Engineering Pune.
College of Engineering, the first thing that comes to my mind is that very intelligent students, because your cutoff is only so high, only smart people get to enter your college. So like you, like I imagine very smart people who really are very studious and they study really hard.
Okay. The second is Lata Mangeshkar.
Lata Mangeshkar, legend. Yeah, legend is the word.
Yes, absolutely. The third is hostel life.
I have never experienced hostel life. I used to stay at my house in Aurangabad, in Pune also. I used to stay in Hadap. I used to do a lot of traveling. I used to stay in Hadapsar and then I used to go to Vadgaon every day, 20-40 kilometers of ride every day. So hostel life I never experienced. So I don't know anything about it. But the first thing which comes to my mind is dirty, because all the guys I used to go, they really had very dirty rooms in the hostel and they used to live like that without even thinking about. I had a friend whose bed was on the floor. He had this gaddi on the floor, and the जहाँ पे पैर रखता था ना, only that part was clean, everything else was dirty. So I used to, तो कैसा रहता इधर? But yeah,
Yes,
dirty is the word.
so that's absolutely correct, actually. Then the other word is family.
Family, yeah, very supportive family, fortunately.
Next is Instagram.
Instagram, 2 million, that's the first thing which comes to my mind. कि अच्छा Instagram पे 2 million हो गया.
And yes, the final word is music.
Music is I think peace. I get a lot of peace when I come here. All my anxieties, all my worries are taken away when I'm in the studio. I think peace.
Right.
So, like, that is so true. Music is all about, peace and you being in your own space.
Completely.
So, yeah, with this, we've come to the end of the session. But like no mehfil ends without Bhairavi, our conversation cannot end without listening to something from you.
I'll sing Papa Ki Pari, the latest one.
Yeah,
I
sure.
would have sung Kuchlingo, but I've sung that so many times. No, I want to sing Papa Ki Pari. वो रीले बनाती यूं ही, लाइक्स भी है जरूरी, वो मम्मी की प्यारी और पापा की परी तो मैं हुई, तेरा रे रा तारा तारा रा रा, तेरा रे रा तारा तारा रा रा.
That was amazing.
Amazing, exactly.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Yes, so we are done with all the questions. We would like to thank you, Yasraj, sir, for taking out time from a busy schedule and gracing our tech stage. Before concluding, we would like to thank Dr. B.B. Ahuja, Director of College of Engineering Pune, Dr. M.S. Sutavne, Deputy Director of College of Engineering Pune, Dr. P.R. Dhamangaonkar, Associate Dean, Student Affairs of College of Engineering Pune, Dr. Mrs. Aarti Petkar, Faculty Advisor of Mindspark, for their valuable guidance. We would once again like to thank you, Yashraj Mukhate, sir, for your esteemed presence.
Thank you.